So you're working from home and you've got a seminar or a workshop using Microsoft Teams and you're not too sure how to get it set up. Let me show you how. Now, what to wear. So for the top, try to wear something professional like a button-up shirt or a sweater. Avoid blacks or whites because webcams tend to pick up those colors differently. Now, for the bottom, it doesn't really matter as long as you're comfortable. So let's talk about audio. Now, you could just use regular headphones. They work perfectly fine. Make sure, of course, you're speaking to the microphone when you're talking. I personally recommend this type of headset because it really captures just your audio and it cancels everything around you. Now, if you don't have any of these, you can still participate to the meeting. Of course, make sure that you're in a quiet environment in that case where there's no noise pollution. So in terms of background, avoid having the window behind you as the light will just make your face completely blacked out on the webcam. Also avoid having a background that's a bit too busy because it'll distract your viewer. The best background is one that is neutral, like a regular old white wall.
So it's the day of your meeting. The way to access it, you simply go into the calendar of your Microsoft Outlook and double click on the meeting. So in the meeting invitation, you should have a link to join the Teams meeting. It may look something like this, or it may look differently, but just try to find where the link is and simply click on it to join the meeting. You also have access to a telephone number if for whatever reason your internet connection isn't working or that your headphone isn't working. You can call in with the telephone. So you have the phone number and the conference ID number. And you can use the meeting link just to access the webcam sharing and the screen sharing. Now, if you arrive on this page instead of the app itself, don't despair. If you don't have the Teams app already installed on your computer, definitely recommend to download it. The experience will be much better than continuing on a web browser. So, open File and continue with the download process. Okay, so we're almost in the meeting. Here you have a preview of what you'll look like to others. That is, if your webcam is on. So what you see down here with the video icon is how you can turn your webcam off or on. Keep it on for the beginning. No one likes talking to a black screen. And the same with your audio, off, like this, or on. Now, in terms of positioning, try to have your shoulders be in the frame and have your eyes be about the same level as the webcam. Don't try to be like this with an angle too low, not a great angle, and not like this either. It's a little bit too close. So try to position yourself before entering the meeting. Now, enter your name so we know who's speaking and who's joining the meeting, and click on Join Now. Great, you're connecting. Someone will let you in. All right, so the meeting facilitator has let us in, and now we're in the meeting. What can we do now? At the top of your screen, you'll see a few icons. Let's take a look. The first one looks like a microphone. That's for muting and unmuting yourself. So when you're speaking, of course, have your microphone on so others can hear you. When you're not speaking, please put yourself on mute, as that will ensure a good sound quality for all the participants in the meeting. When you do want to speak, though, turn it back on so that everyone can hear you. Next, you have the video icon. This is for the webcam. Whenever you want to speak or at the beginning of the meeting, please put your webcam on. Nobody likes talking to a black page. You'll also see a hand icon. If there's many people in the meeting and you don't necessarily want to intervene, you can raise your hand, and the speaker will see that you have your hand raised. Once you've spoken or asked your question, you can simply re-click on the icon to lower your hand. And finally, we have the chat icon, which looks like a message. You can click here to show the conversation in the meeting. If you want to interact with others, ask a question, answer polls or quizzes, this is how you do it. So give it a try and write something in the chat. So what other options are available? If you click on these three little dots, you have a list of other options available, such as device settings. Typically, if your headphones are connected but no one can hear you, there might be something that's gone wrong in terms of device settings. So the wrong headphone has been selected for audio. You can configure it all out on the device settings tab. The next interesting thing to see in the more actions part is the viewing options. So here I'm the only one in the call, so I don't have many options, but normally you have large gallery and together mode activated. And that essentially what it does. If you have many people in the call, it allows you to view all of them together on the screen at the same time in different modes. Try together mode. It's quite funny actually. If at any time your audio isn't working, maybe your network connection isn't great and you want to connect via telephone, you have that option as well. Simply click on meeting details and here you have all of the dial-in information, the telephone number, as well as the conference ID in order to connect to the call via telephone. Make sure that when you do connect via telephone, you remove the audio on your computer. So you put yourself on mute on your computer so there's no echo. All right then, I think that's all of the features to see on Teams. There's some other features such as polls and quizzes, and those usually show up in the chat. So as long as you have access to the chat and you know how to access it and get to it, then you should be fine.
All right, guys, thanks for joining. Talk to you later. All right, well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll feel prepared next time you have a seminar or a workshop using Teams. Thank you again for watching. Bye.